Okay. I'm here with Elliott, my good friend from a number of years now. And I was looking over some of your data recently, and you have had this massive improvement. But before we get into that, can you kind of just tell people what you do? And what you do is fascinating. And so I would like you to explain a little bit about that in relation to sports.
Yeah, for sure. So my name is Elliott Williams. I'm the Director of Functional Performance here for the San Francisco 49ers. Currently in my 8th year, started in 2017, came from a clinical background working strictly posture. Came from a company called the Egoscue Method, which is founded by a gentleman named Pete Egoscue.
Yeah, awesome.
And he worked with Lynch and a bunch of NFL guys way back in the day, just on musculoskeletal integrity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Trying to maintain balance within the system, alignment within the joints of the body, and with that comes efficiency of movement, efficiency of signal, and just overall efficiency of use. Whether you're moving in locomotion, you're loading, you're slowing down and decelerating, or you're breathing. So a lot of the time, when you think about the body and it looking off, or something sticks out to you, that's kind of your check engine light on the car. Right?
Gotcha.
It's never the engine, right? It's the gas cap, it's the tire pressure, it's your windshield wiper fluid, right? That's your pain.
Mm-hmm.
Your symptom that's speaking to you is just your check engine light, and very, very likely it's about misalignment.
So what do you see when you start to work on the misalignment? Like, what are some downstream effects of that?
Well, there's always compensation, right? Anytime
Okay.
you change a joint position through muscular work. My work is 100% hands-off. I'm not a chiropractor. I'm not a physical therapist. I'm not doing soft tissue. I'm strictly evaluating via my eyes and an image capture app that I have that I utilize. And that helps us kind of create and develop corrective alignment-based exercises to help put the body back into balance. But what you find when the body comes back into balance, literally the very first thing that everybody notices is, I can breathe easier.
Wow.
Right?
Isn't that
Head
amazing?
position, angles.
I'm thinking about it right now.
The body is all about angles. And
Yeah.
if we're in good upright posture and good angles, then oxygen flows well, blood circulates efficiently, your heart can pump and work within the lungs at a nice, simple, balanced state.
Wow. So what is, primarily, I know you can use a lot of this even outside of that athletics,
Yeah.
but in the athletic space, what do you see? Because you have a lot of athletes maybe come from other teams, they've been in the league for a while, they haven't done this before, and then all of a sudden they do this with you.
Yeah.
What is kind of one of the first things that they kind of notice or talk about?
Yeah, feeling lighter.
Lighter.
Feeling
Interesting.
lighter. Yeah. With balance
Yeah.
comes different weight disbursement than you're typically used to. And that's ultimately what we're trying to do, is maintain or create balance within the musculoskeletal system so that you can fluidly move through space and get from point A to point B as efficiently as possible.
Wow.
So I would say the lightness, the breath, sometimes they feel warmer once
Circulation.
Yeah, circulatory.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, I would say lightness and breathing are typically the first two things that people have. That's their feedback, if you will.
And you guys have these sophisticated cameras and things that read the body,
Yep.
and I mean it's pretty cool stuff, and it's
Yeah.
getting more and more. Every time I go over to your area,
Yeah.
there's like more tech.
Yes.
It's really, really
Yeah.
cool.
And I mean, the coolest part about it is that the guys trust, right?
Yeah.
We've been here long enough, and we built enough rapport, and I think the proof is in the pudding.
Yeah.
Enough players here have tasted that pudding and understand that this makes you feel good and helps you recover faster. And if anything can make you feel lighter, especially after a contact sport, which you probably feel pretty heavy in,
Yeah.
can help you breathe a little bit better, then chances are your circulation is going to improve. So you're overall going to feel better.
Yeah.
You know?
It's interesting where your location is. It just feels like the family living room in there. Like I go in there and the guys are all just doing their thing,
Yeah.
and it's not like a place that's vacant. I mean, it's all the conversations, all the things are kind of like happening in there, and you can tell that it's become kind of part of the culture and what they do, which is really cool.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And it is very cool.
That's awesome. So, just so happens, space-wise, the brain room that we have and that Ian works in is like right next to you. Well, there's a little snack room in the middle, but and so we end up spending a lot of time just kind of interacting back and forth.
Yeah, we do.
And I think we've always known there's some synergy between the two.
Yeah.
But it seems like over the years that seemed to have grown.
Yeah.
And
It has.
can you kind of explain where you see what we're doing with the brain and the nervous system kind of interfacing with what you're doing with the musculoskeletal system and where that started to maybe connect more over time?
Absolutely. Well, I think first of all, it comes from belief system, right? The first part of my belief system is you cannot separate when you're treating somebody in pain or for performance, whatever the case may be. You cannot separate the brain and the body. If you do, you're doing the individual a great disservice. So by connecting the two, putting them in positions where physically they're laying down and they might have an issue breathing, but integrating what you're bringing to the table in the movement aspect is only going to influence him at a greater level. So I think it started with the anti-separation of the brain and body. Right? And then it comes down to experience. I will never promote something to my child, my wife, my friend, my athlete, if I'm not willing to go through the process first. And so that was just an easy thing where, okay, all right, let's see what this is. Let's start doing it and let's commit to it for a certain amount of time and let's see the impact it has on me. So whether it's anecdotal or a data point, whatever you want to call it, it still has value. And as we've continued to grow within our franchise, within our culture, mental health has always been a huge topic of conversation. And if you separate the brain and the body, again, you're doing a great disservice. But when you combine the two and you find that balance musculoskeletally and that parasympathetic autonomic state that you're looking for, then what do you get? You get a more balanced, happier person. So therefore, we're now also peeing in the pond of the pharmaceutical industry because we're actually treating mental health. Right? But we're not, yes, there's conversations, yes, there's rapport being built, yes, we're creating connection and things like that, but at the end of the day, we're servicing what's in front of us, and that's the brain and the body. And so that just makes too much sense, but I can't do it all. So then when we have a brain room in, it's like, hey, you just did a phenomenal job with your exercises. Let's go solidify the brain-body experience, and let's go lock it in visually and autonomically with your breath.
So it's almost like I think we bring the two together, and I've seen it from our side too. When they're working with you and we're working on something, it's like we get this resonance frequency. It's like, you got this one part that does something, and you got this another part that does something, but when you kind of bring that together, it's actually greater than I think the two parts are. Like it creates this, kind of like when you're in those stadiums where if you just took all the voices, they wouldn't equal something. But if you blend them together, it creates this massive roar, that goes way beyond just an individual voice.
Absolutely.
I just have seen that with us, and it's really cool. Even though they seem like separate disciplines, they're very connected. So I've been seeing this thing in your breathing lately. Okay, so I mean you've been doing this for a long time, but you have done something in the last couple months where your frequencies on your heart of coherence are they're phenomenal. They're up in the high 90s, which is really hard for a 23-year-old elite athlete. Not that you're not an elite athlete, but I don't think you're 23 anymore. So tell me